lineup you're going to see in a moment, Timmer is going to be a handful. He's going to be a real handful for this Puerto Rican defense. He's very strong, he's very active. The rest of this lineup is solid. I just think they're going to may have some lateral issues defensively. But Darius Bertrands is having his most efficient international tournament. He's just shooting the ball so well. He was under 30% from the three-point line in Eurobasket, way over that, nearly 40% from the three-point line. There's the starting lineup, and they have good balance. Timmer and Bertrands are a real live wire, if you want. But Sillins is a real steady impact. Berzan is a foul magnet. He has to stay in the game. It's going to be interesting to see how he coaches Ramos at the beginning. But this is an evenly balanced in terms of which team can get the win. It's just about style. I think if Puerto Rico could be as active as they have and share the ball, they might have enough. These two guys have had great tournaments. Bertrands, as I've mentioned, very, very efficient for his 19 points at 55%. But Arroyo, for me, coming off the bench, those field goal percentages tell you how efficient and effective he has been. It's also his ability to share the ball. Looks like he's making a sacrifice for his teammates, and that, in my mind, could be decisive if they can really get enough minutes into him, Holland, and Barrera together.
He was in the last Olympics along with Eddie Casiano as a player. Casiano, in his first tournament, took this team to Central Basket with essentially no prior practice. Only a few members had practiced. They lost the first game badly, then they won that tournament against Mexico in a thriller. And Igor Bagatskis now has his team 2 wins away from his first Olympics in 80 years. He himself was a player for Latvia back in 1992, right after independence. His nation became independent once again in 1991. He wants to be the one to take him again to an Olympic game, and he will do that with this bunch, which is young, athletic, smart, unbeaten in Group B. They crushed Japan by 40 points. They beat the Czech Republic by 12. So they actually had a very good showing against, you may say, a weak team in Japan. You may say a Czech Republic that wasn't perhaps playing its best. But the gap between what they did on offense and defense was significant. However, this Puerto Rican team promises to be the best offense they've faced so far here in Belgrade.
And it's a different type of offense. That's what I think. It's they haven't had to cope with a superstar game changer like Barrera or Arroyo at the point. And if Holland gets going in the way he's got going in games, I'm not sure. It'll have to be Timmer. And if Timmer has to play defense, it's really going to take a lot away from the game. And I don't know if he can cope and stay out of foul trouble.
Let's see if we have a quick jump ball here between Berzins and Ramos. Okay. Looks like we have an incident free. Now remember, J.J. Barea twisted his knee last time we saw him 48 hours ago. A hyperextension of his right knee. He's fine. I'm told that he'll be playing regular minutes. We'll find out as the game goes on. Jump ball into the hands of Bertans. Strelczyk guarded initially by Barea and Silinch by Bachman. As they draw Ramos outside, a quick cut in by Timmer, and Latvia's up 2-0.
That's
nice and easy.
Just atrocious by Vasile off the ball. He just didn't see the back cut, hadn't adjusted. And they had that little issue against Serbia for a while.
Nice touch by Ramos around the basket. He ties the game at 2.
It's like a little guard there, a little reverse.
I'm telling you, for a guy so massive, he is now 222 and over 135 kilos last time he was weighed. He's got very soft hands.
Yeah.
He can actually make three-pointers, believe it or not. Not that he should attempt them, but he can make them on occasion. Talk about a three-pointer. Berzins at least misses first, right? We've seen other players here like Vander Joachim from Angola make the first one and then think he became a three-point shooter.
They'll let Berzins take that shot out early on in the offense, though. That's a good option if you're a Puerto Rican fan.
Holland drives, second best scorer in this tournament so far. Now he puts Puerto Rico ahead.
They can't cope with him on the dribble. They're going to have to find a way of how they're going to help, because I don't think there's a... They're going to have to try and find out if he can shoot the jump shot, which we know he can. A little streaky, perhaps, but...
Tim inside the Berzins. Misses at the end. And as they fight for that ball, it's Berzins that has to touch it. It belongs to Puerto Rico. Interestingly, so if you're going to double team Barea to get the ball out of his hands, then what do you do with Holland?
Well, you let him shoot the three and find if he can make it to start with. If you guard him the way they just did, I think he'll put it on the floor and give you problems. And they chose not to help that last time.
Ramos with room inside to Bachman, and he's blocked by Berzins and by Timmer.
Bolton's got to play. I haven't seen Bolton ever play soft. He's got to throw that down.
There is Bertans goes over the backboard. It belongs to Puerto Rico. His brother Davis just signed a 3-year deal with the San Antonio Spurs. Nice block by Tima. Tima had a wonderful game against the Czech Republic.
Tima, in all sorts of ways, is so important.
Sayo takes a long three early in the possession. He's hobbling with a right ankle injury.
He's not doing anything to indemnify himself to the coach at the moment with, you know, the early three, which I know is his game, but his defense down the other end. Down this end now, got to step it up.
Tima with a three rebounded by Bachman. Bachman, one of the leaders in the tournament, second in the tournament with 1.5 blocks per game. Undersized center. Barrera with hesitation in traffic. Fast break opportunity, and Tima's just going to take it, and Vasallo never ran back. Vasallo may not be 100%. He just didn't run.
Well, when Barrera goes to the basket like he's going to, and they need him to, someone's got to adjust to take the, you know, get the backcourt balance. And as you say, Vasallo didn't run, he didn't move to even get the balance.
Bergens with his first foul. You talked about the need for him to stay in the game, but Secnik, the 21-year-old, has done a commendable job replacing him.
I'd be interested to see if when Secnik's in the game, as long as he doesn't try and play, you know, too physically, he can just challenge the shot of Ramos and anyone else on the inside. It'd be interesting to see. I think he could be a bit of a, it could be a factor.
A foul by Holland reaching in on the drive by Bertans, his first.
Personal foul, 23.
Two teams first.
Is first.
Holland plays for the Boston Celtics. Will be with them in the veteran camp later on this summer in the U.S. The classic type of player that Brad Stevens likes in Boston. Does everything, can defend ruggedly. Tima again quickly, and Vasallo grabs the rebound.
Right, Tima's got to finish, and Vasallo at the moment is just, they're almost running everything, whoever he's guarding. He's just got to go hard. If he's not fit, he's not fit, but he can't play soft.
No room for Huertas, and the foul is on Tima. Team second, his first. I thought Tima was one of the heroes in the win against the Czech Republic.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't have anyone else like him with the physicality he brings and his quickness. He's got good range. He can shoot the perimeter shot. He's good going to the basket. Defensively, he's good. It's a tough matchup, though. Him and Holland will be an interesting one.
Correa, it's good. The assist by P.J. Ramos. That's the first three-pointer. Puerto Rico up by 3.
You mentioned right at the beginning of the game that neither team has played each other, and I was like, well, they've scouted each other. It's even however much you've scouted, if you don't have that feel, you play a little tentative like this till you sort of work it out.
Strelznick. And it's rebounded by Bachman, who brings it up the court, but he stepped on the line. It's always an adventure when Ronaldo Bachman decides to pick up the ball and dribble.
Great thing for Puerto Rico. That's the most active I've seen him in 3 games. He was like all over the glass, got it, went after it, wanted to run. You know, he went to the basket a little weak, but that's a really good sign for Puerto Rico. And they look the more active team at the moment. As long as Vasallo can play some defense, they're in pretty good shape here.
You mentioned energy when you mentioned what Bachman has to do in a game. Strelznick out to Tima. Inside diversions, the ball's fought over and it's stolen by Holland. Open court for John. Euro step. And the ball is in the hands of Strelznick, and Bachman's a little slow in getting up.
Great thing again, though, he got there. He's got to work to get back right now because this man's going to make an open 3.
And he missed. Puerto Rico just dodged a bullet.
Absolutely dodged the bullet.
Bachman basically doesn't rest between seasons and international assignments. No alley-oop with Ramos. That's as he muscles his way against Bergens, and he misses. Bertans, Holland going under the screen. Silic with a 3, no good. 29 three-pointers per game for Latvia in the first couple of games here in Belgrade.
I think they've just Strelznick's got to try and finish that play because Ramos is not going to be quick enough to protect the ring.
Foul.
Bergens picks up foul number 2. Offense. Yeah, it's go at him, go at him, go at him, go at him, and then rotate Ramos out now, I think, for Sanchez, who's the other guy. If he can just physically compete. Now, Bergens with 2 fouls is going to have to be really careful against the more quicker, more mobile guy in Sanchez, if Sanchez plays that way.
So Ramos gave Puerto Rico 5 minutes, and he's averaging about 13 minutes per game so far here in Belgrade.
And I obviously haven't seen this team play as often as you have, but Coach Cassiano's he understands his team here. It's just clearly he's got a real affinity, he's got a real feel for his guys.
Sanchez opens up the pick and pop, in and out. Rebounded by Silinch, who got into foul trouble in the game against the Czech Republic. He's having a much better opener here against Puerto Rico. Strelznieks, the Birdman's averaging 19 points per game, leading all scorers here. Drives against Sanchez. Strong hand to Strelzniek. Back out to Silinch. Offline. Barrera looks ahead at Bachman, but he's being chased. So Barrera takes it all the way. And it's in. And he fell down as well at the end.
That's great effort. Like, even though Bachman didn't get the ball, he took the defense out and gave Barrera the chance to actually make the move. It's a really nice start if you're a Puerto Rican fan here.
5-point lead. Tipped by Bachman. It belongs to Latvia. And we have substitutes. Pasechniks will come in along with Janis Blum, the captain for Latvia. And
I think Pasechnik's impact here is going to be important. It's great for Puerto Rico that Bertrand's got into rotations before he's even got his got into his scoring rhythm. Now it's important that Blooms finds his touch from deep.
And let's see how Sanchez plays Pasechniks as Strelznieks goes bang, and he makes the three-pointer. The first one by Latvia.
It's a late opening on Saturday, isn't it? For the bank. They almost need that maybe. Nothing's been dropping until now.
Barrera scales Mount Pasechniks.
Tough move.
He's yelling at the referee saying illegal screen, specifically at Whelan. Bloom. And it's rebounded by Holland. Are they going to keep putting up threes just to open up? Look at this kilometric three by Barrera. Is that a sign of fatigue by Barrera?
I think Barrera, and Arroyo's coming in, so it looks like it. But Latvia take a lot of threes, and at the moment, Puerto Rico doing a nice job closing out. More importantly, doing a nice job on the glass. They just don't need anyone to get going, and they're not taking bad threes though at the moment.
Strong hand for Strelznieks. He is no good this time.
That's a tough ask though. That's a tough shot. But you got to credit the defense. The defense didn't overhelp. They stayed and guarded their man, and he still had to take a tough one over the defense.
What a pass, and a block and a foul by Pasechniks. Nice move by Barrera and Bachman.
Well, Bachman didn't go soft on this, did he? He didn't look to lay it up. He was going up, and the only way that Pasechniks were going to stop this was to try and block him. But that's a different move than the move he got blocked on earlier on.
With Capitanes, the champion of the Puerto Rican League, he's made 2/3 of his free throws as we see substitutions for Latvia. In comes Marix Mayeris.
Well, they've got a much more active, if that's the right phrase, team on the floor now, Latvia. Bertrand's is back as well. They've just got to try and break the defense down and kick. Because that's their style of play. They sometimes will use a horn set with the two high screens, but their major bread and butter thing to go to is the penetration and kick. And if Bertrand gets the stroke going, fine. But the way that Puerto Rico at the moment are dealing with that is by staying at home, guarding their man, keeping the player in front of them. That's been the big story for me, their activity against the penetration.
Misses them both. 4-point Puerto Rico lead. Inside, Mayeris on a foul by Danny Vasallo.
I think Vasallo's got to sit. It looks like he is going to sit. Whether he's healthy or not, defensively, he's probably the only guy, and if he's hampered by the injury, then you can understand it. The only guy who really hasn't brought his defensive effort so far.
He does have that ankle injury, and so, by the way, the Strelznieks who went to the bench for Mayeris came in for him, recovering from that ankle injury with Rosa Baskets in the BBL, the final of the Bundesliga. Reach-in foul by Bachman.
Yeah, that's not defensive effort by Bachman. That's not what they need to do. We've just been saying that if he closes out and keeps Bertrand in front of him, it's a tough ask. The great thing is he didn't let Bertrand get his feet set. And they can rotate at that spot because Clemente's done a really nice job in the tournament so far. So great recovery.
Blooms, the floater, But there's a foul, and he'll get 2 shots as Arroyo's on the court. David Huertas came in for Vasallo. Huertas started in the shooting guard position. Now he's coming in as part of this group for Puerto Rico. And the foul, I believe, will be on Arroyo. It is his first. And each team now has 4 fouls with 2.5 to go in the first quarter. Bloom still playing at a high level. 6-man, embraces that role, does it extremely well. 34-year-old, born in Saldus.
Right, there's a guy who understands his role. He's understood it his whole career. Be solid with the basketball, shoot your open shot, and play hard down the center.
Plays now played last year in the Serie A in the Italian league. Arroyo has had a tremendously efficient tournament. Over to Ricky Sanchez. Let's see. No good. Rebounded by Tima. Tima hasn't taken a break.
He's got a great engine, though, Tima. I'm surprised he's gone the whole quarter, which looks like he has got a great engine. I really think it's an area they can exploit, that matchup.
And he makes the 3. Somebody must have heard you.
That's the first time Holland hasn't been all over him, too, and he's gone the whole 8 so far. And Tima inside, outside, you've got to play him every possession.
Averaging 26 minutes per game. Giannis Tima played 30 minutes against the Czech Republic. From the elbow, it's good for Holland. Averaging 16.5 points per game and drawing the most fouls of any player so far here in Belgrade.
He's 4.2 from 3, and he's a tough athlete to guard. That's why you can see how he will pull fouls.
Bloom's just lost it. And by the way, if you're a Boston Celtic, you're happy that he's on your team, as he will take a breather with 1:22 to go. Barea and Arroyo together on the court. So Barea took a little breather himself.
Well, Holland's one of those guys, it doesn't matter if he plays a minute or he plays 20 minutes. You'll get the same, right? That's how he looks to me.
36-year-old played for Barcelona last year. Barcelona has a new coach. Look at that hesitation. And again, smooth. He barely breaks a sweat at this stage.
Always in his control. He's always under control at the moment. He's playing like a vet, and that's what he is. Real smart play.
Tima with a drop step. He just couldn't close the deal.
And that's Huertas being a bit quicker than Holland. I think Holland did need the spell. And you've said on a number of occasions, Huertas is a...
Oh, nice cut by Bachman. And he can't make it. That's a second gimme he misses. But what a pass by Arroyo, huh?
Oh, missed free throws and missed gimmies. They could have had a 10, 12-point game. And as been shown, in international basketball, you have to make those options. It's so hard to get that many easy options. The team will get runs, and then Puerto Rico have had an opportunity. They're up 5. They've had an opportunity to be up 10 just on gimmies and missed free throws.
Giannis Bershins comes in for Latvia, and Ramon Clemente comes in for Bachman with 2 fouls, as we see Darius Bertan. So his brother Davis, if they qualify for Rio, will be available, and so will Kristaps Porzingis. You can imagine that team with those 2 players.
Oh, they become a great team, potentially, from being a good team. And, very few teams have out-and-out superstars, and, between those 2, that adds superstar status.
A lane violation, I believe, by Sanchez and Besang.
At the moment, they've got enough to think about, though, just trying to get past a very focused Puerto Rican team, though.
Clemente playing usually undersized center. Here's Arroyo with 31 seconds to play. Offensive board by Puerto Rico.
Yeah, quick 2-for-1 option, and he was smart enough to take it. He's taking so many options for the team. It's only a 14-second reset, though.
Open court for Barea. Another offensive board. No, back in the hands of Latvia. Sanchez gets in the way. Bertans with an open 3. He decides to drive, and he lays it in. 2-point Puerto Rican lead. Huertas attacks the basket. Takes a very tough shot and draws the foul from Mieres.
I think I'm with Coach Baganis here, because he missed contact, the official, which was actually worse than the contact he called. And either way, they've been shooting because of a team foul situation. If we get a replay of it. Huertas got to step up, though, because that little spell for Latvia, even as good as Puerto Rico have been, if he doesn't make these 2, they've only got the 2-point advantage.
David now plays for Arecibo along with Bachman. 2 of the players that joined the Puerto Rican team late for Central Basket without the benefit of a practice, as we see the fans, about 500 of them, here in Belgrade from Latvia. Huge basketball fans, huge basketball country. They're holding the European 3-on-3 championships by the Milda, by the statue of Milda, holding up the 3 stars, which are also on the chest of these players. The 3 stars representing the original 3 regions of Latvia. Now there are 4, but at the end of 1, Puerto Rico leads Latvia by 4, 17-13. Nice start to this game. Critical game for both. The semifinal, this Olympic qualifier here in Belgrade.
Oh, going to get a look at the stats, and they're not going to be anything to write home about because you know, both teams are a little tentative at the start. The 1 from 10 from Latvia tells you everything you need to know about the problems they have. No offensive rebounds from them, only 1 for Puerto Rico, and on the number of missed shots, you'd have expected a little bit more, you know, productivity on the glass. But the most impressive thing for me from Puerto Rico's perspective is the way they have contained the penetration, so they haven't given up that much going to the hoop, and they haven't got into help, so they haven't really then had too many long closeouts. If you're Latvia, the fact that you're only down 4 is the biggest plus, because defensively they haven't really started to play that sort of physical style and take Puerto Rico out of what they want to run. And offensively, they're 1 from 10.
They are, one thing I've noticed about Puerto Rico today, they are spreading the floor.
Very much so.
They really are on offense, much more than before. And we have a fast break here by Latvia, 4-4 on fast break points. Peter John Ramos with a short, but productive presence on the court. Bachman with 2 fouls. Zilic has not committed 1 yet.
The thing about if they're going to spread the floor, though, on penetration in particular, they've got to move. And if they've spread the floor, you know, one of the things that they don't tend to do enough of at times is screen away from the basketball and tie up, you know, some of the defense away from the ball, because I don't think they can guard Holland. I don't think that Latvia can guard Barrera going to the basket. If there's activity away from the basketball and people can see the ball, if they do help, they'll find the open man. And there are guys who can shoot it. Just got to keep this Latvian defense moving. Latvia just got to start putting some bodies on people. It's a little bit passive if you're a Latvian.
Arroyo not starting with Puerto Rico since probably 2001. So far back you have to go, as Red moves it to the corner with Huertas, missed 3 again. 1 for 6 is Puerto Rico from behind the arc, and the ball's in the hands of Tima.
I mean, that's the exact thing that we were talking about. Barrera penetrates, they make an extra pass. It's just, you know, Huertas ends up with his shot. That's why I think Arroyo at the point is a better option, because Barrera is very likely to knock down that open 3.
Sechnik almost loses it. Turnaround shot. It's good. Nice move by Yanis Bergin, 23-year-old, plays for Riga in the Latvian league.
That always surprises why they take so many threes, because they're a very, very good mid-range shooting team.
Bloom's just hounding Moran. Moran just insisting on the dribble. 10 to shoot. Hesitation. A shot, no good. No arc on that shot, and a foul underneath. It's drawn by Clemente. It probably will be on Bertans.
Yeah, it was. I think maybe Tema was the foul. It was that activity, because as Richie Sanchez started to shoot the ball, as you can see, Clemente's already worked to get inside position. He is a real handful to keep off the glass.
Second foul on Tima. 14 to shoot. Correa falls down. Back into the hands of Arroyo. 4 to shoot. There it is, efficient. Mr. Efficiency, number 7. He's having himself a nice little tournament, gives Puerto Rico a 4-point lead.
I don't think you should say enough good things about Carlos Arroyo.
Oh, what a cut. Unbelievable. Total confusion between Morea and Arroyo here, defensively. Morea just saw him walk by. Bertans now with 5, 6 for Tima, leading scorers for Latvia. Inside to Moncho, nice block by Pasechnik. Into the hands of Tima. Up front to Bergins, stripped and fouled by Carlos Arroyo. He will go to the line.
Personal foul number 7, Carlos Arroyo, is
second foul for Arroyo. Yanis Bergins, 23 years old. Won 2 Latvian League championships, 2012, 2015, in different stints with Riga. Clearly a foul.
So far with Arroyo, he's given Borgman, now he's giving Clemente great advantage coming off the pick and roll. He's just finding people, getting his own option as well. They've got to finish those plays. Either get fouled or finish the play, or kick it back out, because there'll be a long closeout then. And they just look so much, Barrera's getting into a little I'm going to beat you type mode here. They look a little bit better with Arroyo with the ball, and you know he's going to find the right guy.
9 to shoot. Arroyo against Bertans, who says he knows him from European basketball, and a foul at the end, a late call. Bertans walks away. 2 shots for Arroyo.
Came across and fouled him as he got a little bit of space.
Sterling gets his first foul.
It's like that. That's it. If you've got Barrera on the same side, no one's going to help. So Arroyo realizes that no one's going to help. Barrera's, while you're looking at replays, is chirping away with the official.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
I don't think the official needs to be told that that Barrera thinks he's being fouled, because I think he knows that Barrera thinks he's being fouled.
He also knows that Barrera's not going to make the call. It's him. He's got the whistle, not Barrera.
Exactly. His team is doing well enough. They're in a tough semi-final game. Barrera is so important for the team. Stay on the same page as everybody else, and I don't think there's a better coach in the tournament to try and keep someone like Barrera on page. Cassiano, I think he's got that under control.
We'll find out as Puerto Rico opens up with a zone here. Inside the possession, it's intercepted by Clemente.
He's just active. You just gotta love his activity.
They love him in Argentina. He played for Ferro, played for Obras the year before. An offensive foul by Clemente as he tangled with Bertans. You'd think Puerto Rico was down by 7. They're up by 2. Every call they're complaining about. That's a foul.
Yeah, and defensively, their arms are up. He's trying to play in the lane, and Bertans is trying to guard him. And if Clemente just plays, he's going to get open. Just play.
To be productive.
Yeah.
Martin Myers comes in now. Possessionix will take a breather, and still we have Kaspar Bergens on the bench.
It's almost the body language and the way that Puerto Rico are. You think they were down?
That's what I'm saying.
6
They're
points.
down 7.
They're up 2, and,
yeah.
and they're getting what they want. They don't need to get into a little bit of a chirpy situation with the officials or looking at foul counts here.
Oh, Sanchez just almost bit that fake, and bad shot by Tima, but into the hands of Bergens. He misses. Another shot, an offensive board for Latvia.
Yeah, Timothy.
Bertans all the way. That's a specialty of the house. He wanted it with cream on the side or on top, as Huertas tries to get an easy bucket. Wisely pulls up. Barea, a 3. It's good off the screen by Ricky Sanchez.
Great screen, great execution. Why Latvia decided not to go over the top or show hard against one of the best shooters in the tournament, I don't know, but Puerto Rico, again, getting what they want.
So after the tie by Bertans, a Puerto Rican lead, as they play a little zone here at the end, in the middle point of the second quarter. Strelznik, it's good, just inside the arc. 1 point, Puerto Rico lead.
They've allowed Puerto Rico to get those 2s.
Another missed shot by Sanchez, and a putback by Clemente. Tima just went to sleep there.
He's just so active, isn't he? He's just active every single possession. I think they're better man-to-man, Alvaro, as well. I think Puerto Rico better man-to-man here than going to the zone.
Strelznik. They rotate. Bertans. They wanted to feed Myers. They couldn't do it. Tima. Foul and the bucket!
That highlight point for Tima is a tough ask. He's a tough matchup. And Huertas is a good defender. He comes out and he just really try and contain him.
First foul, and Ricky Sanchez. Huertas will go to the bench. Hollins back in for Puerto Rico. And Tima will go to the line. Makes a 3-point play. And he ties the game at 25. So now Danny Vasallo back on the board for Puerto Rico. He had a very undistinguished first stint on the court. Allen over Tima. And Sanchez gets the offensive board. Tima is 24 years old. Now plays for Zenit in the Russian league, in the VTB league as well. Again, Ricky, no good. He keeps missing. Now he is 0 for 3 behind the arc. 0 for 5 overall. Puerto Rico's offense going dry right now. Tima driving left. And a foul, the second on Sanchez. Tima's having his way with Ricky Sanchez.
I think whoever's guard, because Ricky Sanchez gets fouls in here on help, but it's a nice little pick at the top to create little spaces. Berzin gives some, just wasn't the greatest sort of screen, apart from the fact there was traffic, which gave Tima the chance to get advantage. But the difference right now is that the aggressive team has now become Latvia. They're the team that are trying to attack the hoop. Largely Tima, to be fair.
A 68% free throw shooter in 36 games with Zenit.
He's, we said it might be difficult for them to find a matchup to stop him if he was the aggressor and actually started to go to the hoop, and it's proven that way.
Selected by the Memphis Grizzlies in the 60th. Selection blocked, coming off the weak side by Bergens. Gaspar shows up.
Well, and Holland really, in transition earlier in the tournament, had been going straight to the hoop. But Tima, who shot the free throw, did a great job getting back.
Gets Latvia the lead, 26-25, midway through the second quarter. Mark Clark, Alvaro Martin with you here at Belgrade Arena. Serbia and the Czech Republic coming up next. Barea, a three. Short. Two Puerto Ricans, Bachman and Holland, were fighting over the rebound and ends up in the hands of Latvia.
Almost took it off themselves, didn't they?
Yes.
Inside position.
A flash by Myers. Tima drives left, cuts right. And a foul by Myers over the back of John Holland.
You've got to love Tima's aggression, though. He should have finished this play. Gets to the glass. Great box out, great position. Got to compliment Myers for going after it, but if you box out inside position and go up, you are going to get protected and called by the referee.
So Puerto Rico undersized right now with both Bachman and Clemente on the court together. Ramos tends to show up at the beginning of the first and third quarters only. Tough shot for Vasallo. And the putback by Bachman.
Oh, the most active game Bachman has had, and if him and Clemente, they can play undersized if they're going to be that active.
Funny, they had a day off yesterday.
Yeah.
He really, in his defense, he's worn out. As Myers misses again against Clemente's defense.
He's just got to show up for 2 games. Then he can have as much rest as he wants.
Yes. Oh, what a pass by Barea! What imagination and what confidence that Bachman was going to keep rolling to the basket. 3-point Puerto Rican lead. Bachman with the last 4 to give Puerto Rico the lead. Look at this pass. Woo! That's a barn door that was left open. You can't even practice that with chairs. Igars Bagatskis now speaking to his group. They're down 3. They have been really whittling away at the Puerto Rican lead. They got on top, and then Puerto Rico with a quick reaction.
Well, again, Bachman's going to have a lot of energy if people get giving him passes and reward him for the fact that he's run the floor and he gets it up. So you feel very energized if your guards give you the ball. So that's a great decision by Barrera. You know Bachman's going to come out like wanting another one. So we talked right at the top of the game about the activity of Clemente and the activity of Bachman. If he brought that, which we know he's capable of. And when they have that type of activity, it's hard. Berzin and Posesniks, they might have size, but they do not have the foot speed to stay with those guys either on the glass or in transition.
It's almost the Czech version of this would be Jan Vesely doing a alley-oop or a dunk. It gets him, it gets his team into a whole different mindset. So now Latvia needs to cut that out on defense. One of the priorities today was to eliminate early points and transition points for Puerto Rico. They've largely been successful. But Sechniks with a 3, he's short. back into his hands, though. Puerto Rico clogs the paint. Two Latvian players get together, and here comes Holland with Barea. Blooms just went for Barea, and Holland flushed it down.
He is so active on the defensive end, and Barea had to run the floor to, give Blooms a decision to make. He made the wrong one.
Last time you saw him in Sevilla in the 2014 World Cup of Basketball, he was injured. He really didn't contribute much to Puerto Rico. Strelnic's inside. Again, a cut inside by Holland, and another steal.
Just the quickness, just the quickness. But then again, the pass is at the height that he can play. Possessions, he's 2 meters whatever tall.
Bachmann with a very difficult shot to avoid Kaspar Bergens, and a timeout. Again, another one by Aimars Bagatskis of Latvia.
It's all tempo, all from defense again though. I mean, we're going to get the flush by Holland from any angle you can think of. There's enough cameras to give us about 5 versions of that. But this is the deal here. He gets a steal before he's going to, looks at Ferreira, freezes the defense and throws it down hard. The very next play, which they probably won't show us, he just gets a hand in the lane against Vasesniks. And Baganis has got to get into this. Look, Holland's quick, this guy's quick. Let's play at the height of our guys, not just get it in there. We've commented a lot of times in this tour about the quality of certain teams passing. It's not about just getting it there. You've got to get there in exactly the right place. Vasesniks does the right thing. You put that 2 meters 20 in the air, he gets it, Holland doesn't.
5 turnovers for Latvia, and Puerto Rico's been the more turnover-prone team in this tournament.
Well, and 3 of those turnovers have been in the last minute or so. That, it was a really tight, and all of a sudden, on the back of those turnovers, it's now a 7-point lead, which takes me right back to the point we made earlier on. They missed a couple of chippies on the pick and roll, missed some free throws. They could have had a double-digit lead here, Puerto Rico. If you're Latvia and you get into this locker room around this margin, you know you've got a chance because you will get a run.
Pressure off the inbound by Puerto Rico. By the way, this group has worked, this undersized Puerto Rican group with Clemente and Bachmann together, even against Vasesniks.
Definitely that quickness, the laterals.
Silinch in for Latvia, and Blooms with a wide open 3, no good. They keep missing those 3s.
And even Vasillo now gets active on the glass. It's infectious. Hard work is infectious on a team.
Inside, Clemente, he's got Bachmann. He had a notion to hand it to him, but the ball apparently was last touched by Silinch. He doesn't agree.
It's almost a little bit indecision, isn't it? He's coming down the floor with the ball. It's like, do I give it up or do I shoot it? Right now, it's like he could have gone straight up. Then he half-baked the pass, and fortunately for Puerto Rico, and it did come off Silinch. In fact, it came off Vasesniks' right foot.
And then it may have hit Bachmann too, but hey, it's a very difficult call. Easy for us to look at it now.
So we've said it might have, and we've got slow-mo. So.
Yeah. Easy for us to say. It is a very difficult job, the toughest one in this court, I think. Timeout, Puerto Rico. They are now up by 7 against Latvia in the second quarter.
I like the timeout now. He hasn't used the timeout, Coach Luciano. If he scores here, he could be potentially up double digits. He's still got one more to use if he needs it later in the half. So he's got an out-of-bounds play. He'll draw it up. You'd expect him to potentially look for something for Barrera coming off the screen. Wouldn't be surprised if Arroyas came back in for this, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Puerto Rico limiting Latvia to 34% overall and 8%, yes, 8% in threes. 1 of 13 from behind the arc.
And only a couple of those have been like wide open, like Blooms late. The last one we saw from Blooms was wide open. Bertrand's has only had 1 wide open look. The rest of the time, they have been challenged on the 3-point line. So they're a bad 3-point shooting team if they get open looks. With 1 or 2 good shooters, they just haven't had very open looks.
And Latvia's best scorer, averaging 19 points coming into this game, Darius Bertans. He is 3 of 6 overall, 0 for 3 behind the arc.
Yep.
He's got 7 points, but 7 points in 6 shots.
What Puerto Rico got to be aware of is you can't relax, because Bertrand's with his feet set will score him in bunches. So I don't think this is ever a game where Puerto Rico will feel comfortable.
12 seconds to shoot. Puerto Rico has 4 fouls with 2 minutes to go in the second quarter.
2 minutes.
Barea slips, and there's a reach-in foul by Bertans. Isn't it nice to see a player quickly pick up and raise his arm and say, hey, that was my foul?
Great out of bounds, though. You know, we said we'd like to see him get a little something for Barrera, so he inbounds, comes off a staggered screen, gets advantage, gets a foul. So they didn't score, but they're in a positive coming out of the inbound.
Vasallo shoots against Skella, and he misses. Skella coming into the game for the first time. This youngster, Igar Skella, 23-year-old, plays for Valmiera, also in the Latvian league. Team that made some noise this season in that league. As Holland has to front Pasechnik to see if they can give him the ball. Skella. Wow. All the way against Sanchez. It's good.
Tough move. The great thing is he was aggressive, took it to the ring.
He really hasn't been playing much, but he's getting an early vote of confidence in this game. Inside to Clemente. Tough shot. And he slips as well, so it's 5-on-4. Puerto Rico with only 4 defenders. Tima opens up for a 3. And Sanchez grabs the rebound.
That's a second dodged bullet when someone doesn't get back. But Latvia just settled for a 3 on both occasions.
Correa going around the horn, stops over ceiling. Look at that rebound by Clemente. Blocked by Pasechnik with the right arm inside to Tima, and it'll go all the way. Timeout, Eddie Cassiano. It's a 3-point Puerto Rico lead. They're protecting the rim and creating points off that defense.
Okay, they're gonna do that run. They're gonna do that run. Offense now.
Great decision by Skella to push it up.
Absolutely great
take the
decision.
ball out. Okay? Again, Manuel. I want John over here. Ricky Vasallo.
The last couple of times they've gone up, they've been able to challenge this. See, Pasechnik is coming from a long way when he actually got the rebound. If he's just aware there, kick it out, run another 14, have a look. If you've got the open look with no one between you, fine. But if not, bring it out, run another 14. There's enough talent on the floor for Puerto Rico to get to that sort of game management point of view, get the eye of Pasechnik's shot.
Cassiano is 43 years old. Trying to become the second Puerto Rican to both play and coach in an Olympic game after Raymond Dalmau. He's a former MVP of the Puerto Rican League, won 5 championships with San Germán as a player and 1 as a coach with Mayagüez with Ramon Clemente as one of his players. Not known, Cassiano, for his defensive prowess or interest, I should say, and he'll be the first to admit. And yet, that's his calling card as a coach.
Poacher turned gamekeeper.
Do as I say, not as I did.
Absolutely.
And he says with a straight face, oh, I never tell my players what I did in my career. Well, you can tell them about half the things you did in your career on one half of the court. Yeah. 35 seconds to go in this first half. 3-point Puerto Rico lead. They open up the court. Vasallo. He doesn't even draw iron. Was he trying to feed Clemente or was he trying to shoot?
He should have been trying to feed Clemente.
Huertas will be coming in for him. That just does not seem to be physically, perhaps even mentally here in this game today. As Jorge Brian Diaz finally makes an appearance, the future among the bigs in Puerto Rico. They do have a team going to the FIBA Americas Under-18 to be celebrated in Valdivia, Chile in the next coming days, and they've got some young prospects they're very, very happy about. We'll see if Puerto Rico can replace that position. Always very difficult. They don't have a lot of size. Skella inside, Pasechnik. Diaz with the deflection. Tima with the putback. And Correa gets the ball with 5 seconds to go in the half. And they know he's going to shoot it. So he shoots over Pasechnik. And that is the end of the very entertaining first half. Puerto Rico leads Latvia 33-30. Both teams shooting under 40%. It's a defensive-minded game, but Puerto Rico will go to the locker room with a 3-point lead.
Well, these stats, as you highlighted, no one's going to be too excited about the field goal percentages, but the interesting stat for Latvia that you've taken 22s and 13 threes, and you're shooting 55% from the two, you're like so poor from the three-point line.
Yes.
You know, it's like you've got to try and be the aggressor. You've got to try and go inside, whether it be on the pass or on the dribble. Timmer has been phenomenal, 12 and 7. We said right at the beginning, would they be able to guard him? Well, he is the toughest guy at the moment for them to really deal with. Holland, Borkman, Clemente, they've all been very, very active, and that's been the, you know, the positive side for Puerto Rico. But both sides are going to go in. One, they're going to be positive, but both of them, their fans will be sitting there going, well, we missed Puerto Ricans missed a couple of gimmies, missed a couple of free throws. They could have been done by 10 or something more. Latvians will be saying, well, yeah, we shot poorly. We're not going to shoot that way again. It's a three-point game. So both teams are in a position here where they're going to be in that locker room. Just one or two adjustments. You could see either one of these teams make it. But Puerto Rico, for me, with that activity, with that lateral advantage, if they can find a way to contain Timur and keep it in front, that's going to give a real issue for Latvia.
Puerto Rico normally a fine free throw shooting team. Not so far. They're at just about 55% as a team, and today they're 50%. And that surprises me. Puerto Rico usually a fine free throw shooting team, top to bottom.
Yeah, and there hasn't been many fouls as such, but if they'd have shot their normal, even now after that little run for Latvia, they'd have been up 6, 7, 8 points potentially. You add that to the two little two-footers that Borkman missed, and you're looking at a 10-point lead. Now I know the other way, Bertrand's missed a couple of really shots you put money on him making. But they dodged those bullets. They dodged the 4-on-5 bullets when people didn't get back. So there's positives both ways. It's really, really finely balanced. Both teams will believe that they've got a chance of making it to a final and giving themselves a shot to get into Rio.
Both Latvia and Puerto Rico want to win this game. If they do, whoever does will face the winner of Serbia and the Czech Republic. That will be coming up next, later on here at the Belgrade Arena. At the start of the semifinals, at the end of the first half of semifinal number 1, Puerto Rico leads Latvia 33-30. We will be back in a few moments with the start of the third quarter. So as the teams make it back onto this beautiful Belgrade Arena, capacity, basketball capacity for 17,000 in this tournament. Puerto Rico leading Latvia by 3, alongside former UK women's national team head coach Mark Clark. That's a mouthful. This is Alvaro Martin. It's always wonderful. We worked together for the first time in 2014 at the World Cup of Basketball. Always wonderful to hang out with a coach. You learn a lot of basketball and a little bit about life as well, and how he sees basketball. Like to pick his brains, and we'd love to pick the brains right now of Bagatskis and Cassiano. What do you think happened during the sort of the thrust of the instruction during the break in their locker rooms?
Well, I think if Latvia thought before the game that they could contain Guerrero, contain Arroyo at the point, that's an adjustment they have to make.
It could be B and Ramon last.
So as people like Maseo and
Huertas
haven't hit open threes that they have hit. They came in shooting 40% from the three-point line. So it's what does Bagatskis think? Does he think that they're going to shoot to their percentage, or does he think that we're fine, we'll stay with that? Coming the other way, same thing though. Even though we said right at the top of the game, I'm sure Cassiano, because he's scouting staff are really always really well prepared, that Latvia don't shoot the three well, but they don't shoot it at 8%. So again, he's got that dilemma. If they're going to shoot to their percentage, they're going to make threes in the second half.
And they've missed some wide open
threes. But to be honest, wide open threes. And the only adjustment I think that Puerto Rico have to make is how they're going to guard. How are they going to guard Timmer? That's the question they have, because he has been the biggest factor in the game. I'm a little surprised that Ramos doesn't start the second half, because he has his effective 5 minutes or so. But that lineup worked with Clemente and Bulkman, so they're staying with it.
It's interesting. The presence of Ramos on the court literally bends the other team into a situation that they won't necessarily face the rest of the game.
Absolutely.
It really makes them face a different team, even if it's for only a few minutes at the start of each half.
The other way, they start with Pasetniks as well and go straight to him.
Indeed. Quick score. Nice move. So now it's a 1-point Puerto Rico lead, and you expect to see Carlos Arroyo a little bit more in the second half?
I would hope so, and the Pasetniks thing on that last thing, with Ramos in the game, he wouldn't have got his feet outside the keyway.
Bachman in rhythm, no good, rebounded by Silinch.
A Bulkman jump shot after one pass and the backdoor cut, not really the great deal for me for Puerto Rico.
The other surprise, Shkeles starts for Strelsic for Latvia. ineffective. Strelnieks in the first half. Wide.
Then you have
Wide
to
off
ask,
the mark for Przetniks.
why does Przetniks take that shot after one pass?
Inside to Bachmann, he slips in, he's got the position. A cut by Clemente, he was held, and the ball was stolen out of his hands by Silinch.
And Silinch was the sort of the glue player that we know he is in the first half. He can just come up with some production. He could be a big factor.
Holland with 3 steals, he wants the 4th, but instead Silinch will get the lucky bounce. And now Latvia regains the lead.
So bad mid-range jump shot and turnover for Puerto Rico. And it's the first time Ramos hasn't started. I'm a big believer in keeping the rhythm of things that are working, that have worked for you so far in the tournament.
5 to shoot. Holland will launch a 3 offline. Outside to Tima. Nice fake. Schkeller with a floater. Back into his hands. Clock reset to 14 seconds. Here comes Schkeller. And a foul by Holland on the drive by Bertans.
Personal foul number 23, John Holland.
John commits his second. He's first.
Just got caught. Wrong angle on the closeout. Bertrands wants to go right, wants to go down the middle. He showed him that way and he took that way.
So Latvia opens up with a 4-0 run to take the lead. A wide open 3 by Silinch, and again a miss. Perhaps a longer 3 than usual, but a wide open one. Barea. Kelly just didn't really fight for that one. And here comes Holland's 3 himself. It's good. Finally we see a 3 by Puerto Rico. Only their 3rd in this game. First by John in 3 attempts.
But at least then the ball touched the keyway with a penetration by Barrera, so that it's a shot that you would practice.
Bertans again takes Holland. Blocked by Clemente. Barea launches a 3 to get the foul, but Whelan doesn't buy it. And now he'll do a little consultation with Besang, the head referee. Yep, 3 shots. Besang overruled him. I think that may have been wise, and Puerto Rico celebrates.
Yeah, I think I would love to word it in a way that he wasn't sure, so he asked. That's, again, 3-man crew. You don't use them all. And so they had a conversation. Barrera goes to the free throw line.
Whelan refereed in the Puerto Rican League, but I like his style. I like the way he handles crises.
Yeah, I would 100%.
He has a way, his personality, it's the way he walks, the way he handles himself, just kind of diffuses everything. He will listen, he won't necessarily look at you, and then it just moves on. Next on, let's just keep playing here. Barea misses a second. He's been missing free throws in this tournament, which is very unusual for Jose Juan. And now he makes the 3rd.
It's a very friendly roll off the front of the ring.
A 5-0 run by Puerto Rico gives them a 4-point lead. 3 minutes into the 3rd quarter. Bertans always trying to go right. Tima against Bachmann. Przetniks. Nice play right between Holland and Clemente.
And it's, you can see how Puerto Rico have decided to do this. With everybody on the floor, with the exception of Barrera, they can switch every screen because it's pretty much a like-for-like size. Did a really nice job doing that, and then they just could not physically keep Przetniks off the glass. They did a really, really great job getting position. Diaz going in. Again, you can see the logic here. Diaz is a bit more mobile. They can switch him as well if they really need to. So that's the way they've decided to do it. That's the obvious reason why Ramos isn't in the game, because you can't switch anything with him. So, this is the way they've decided to do it. And, in 14 minutes time, we'll know if it's going to work.
Jorge Ryan Diaz in. Off a turnover by Barrera comes Latvia. Vasallo banging with Tima. Deflected by Bachmann.
So active in the lane at the minute. So active defensively.
Inside to Przetniks. Beautiful move. He didn't want to wait for contact. took the ball as he landed, shot it right away. Pasechnik is having himself a very nice game. 6 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. Barea with an open three. That's his shot, not this time.
If they're going to switch screens, they've got to switch screens. They got caught with 2 guys on the ball with Pasechnik's these last 2.
Of course, Bertrand was left. They do here.
That was better on the switch for him.
Skella inside to Timma. I don't know how he found Giannis Timma, but he did for the assist and the bucket.
Yeah,
Latvia regains the lead.
And both teams, when they're attacking it, no one's making shots. So both teams are trying to be more aggressive and create off the dribble.
Inside, Bachman. Beautiful move, and then here's Jorge Brian Diaz finishing.
Straight over the ring, so it's tough, and Bookman got a hit in the face on this.
Jorge Brian Diaz, 25 years of age. Everybody in Puerto Rico wants him to do what he just did every single time. Go hard, go strong, dunk it, don't lay it in, finish. So he did, and he ties the game at 40. Here we go. Right behind Pasechnik, and that's exactly what you do. Hard.
Well, there's a lineup on the floor now. Okay, Brian Diaz maybe not what wouldn't have been someone that was expected to be in it, but he's earned, he's right, he's good, he should be in there. You got Arroyo and Barrera and Holland on the floor together. If they can look after things on the glass, this lineup will be very difficult for Latvia to try and contain. Latvia still have to milk what's working, be aggressive, get Pasechnik on the glass, do not just settle. Latvia
brought in Giannis Bergens. Silinch doesn't get the roll. And Pasechnik just took a big fall. May have hurt his elbow. Arroyo, not a three-point shooter. Diaz with an offensive board and a putback. How about that?
Wow, this switching defense here, switching man-to-man is a big deal here for Puerto Rico.
Pasechnik is hurt, holding his left elbow. Bertans inside the Silinch and a foul by Diaz. A two-pointer and now a free throw for Oyar Silinch. 22 years old.
Now Berzin's coming in the game as we see the replay of the finish, and Diaz is late and then fouls. But you know, the veteran Berzins owes his team a half a basketball here. With his experience, if they're switching and he's smart, he'll find himself open. If not open for the pass, open on the glass. If he does what Pasechnik does, he'll have that experience to just contribute even more.
Losers go home. There's no third place game tomorrow. There's only one game tomorrow between the winners of the semifinal. Bachman attacks Silinch. 5 to shoot. Closely guarded Bergens. Here comes Holland. How did he find the angle? He is having a superb run here in Belgrade.
Well, this is hotting up now in both teams, being the aggressor, trying to get to the ring.
Oh, a shove, no foul. As Strelzniek's back on the court for Latvia. Did not start the second half. Open three again. No good. Somebody better check those rims, huh? Unbelievable. And a quick foul to stop play by Giannis Bergens.
I love teams who pick their poison in the sense that you've decided that if Latvia are going to beat Puerto Rico, we're going to try and make them beat us from the three-point line because we don't think they can. And at the moment, even though it's a one-point game, when they force them to stay on the perimeter, they're getting rewarded for that. Down this end, with the Puerto Rican thing, I'm not really sure what Latvia have decided they want, because at the moment they're getting inside and outside options.
Arroyo off the screen, it's good. That's a scheme. Off screen, just inside the three-point line. Puerto Rico again with a 5-0 run, takes a 4-point lead, 3.5 to go in the third quarter.
Off the screen is the best guard in the tournament, him and Milov Teodosic.
Cause for Readers misses one against Diaz. Misses again, but he gets the rebound. And third time was the charm. Diaz did not want to commit a foul.
Yeah, and the dilemma for Coach Cassiano now is Diaz the right guy right now? He's in real positive for him. Does he leave him in, or does he go with someone more experienced?
Remember, Jorge Brian Diaz was the answer to Pasechnik, and he's not on the court now.
Yep.
Arroyo kept the dribble. I don't know how. 5 to shoot. Barea, is he aware?
No is the answer.
No. Bursch is bringing the ball up court. What an adventure for Latvia. This combination of Mieres and Giannis Buršins on the court together for Latvia has done wonders for Coach Einar Spagatskis. And there's an example of it as they struggle for the rebound. There's a foul, I believe, on Holland.
Yep.
As he tangled for that rebound with Giannis Buršins.
Yeah, it's the dilemma. They're going to be outside from the glass. They might get into some rotations and might get into some switches. They just got to box out. And they've gone with Sanchez as the answer to the Diaz question.
Sanchez so far has 3 rebounds. I'm sorry, yeah, 3 rebounds. He's missed all 5 shots, including 2 3-pointers he's attempted. All alone, nobody saw him. Was Mieres. 4 to shoot. Strelznieks. And a foul by Bachmann. Apparently on the belly of the shooter. 3rd foul for Ronaldo Bachmann. Incredulous.
Well, we're going to have a look.
3 shots.
Ball was a long way gone before there was contact, but it looked like there was contact. It's one of those ones you're going to hate as a coach because you're 2 seconds on a shot clock.
Or love,
yeah,
if you're Bagatskis.
Bagatskis is going to love it. He would be moaning about it the other way, but Strelznieks, you know he was going to shoot it. You've got to stay clean.
A chance to take the lead with 3 free throws. He makes the first. Remember, he had that foot injury in the Bundesliga.
He was very injured last year as well. He's coming off of an unfortunate run of injuries, but he's 100% now.
Now he ties the game at 47. 26 years old, 79% free throw shooter with Rose Baskets in the Beko BBL in Germany. He won a championship in Latvia, another one in the Ukraine Super League with Kiev, and then now in Germany.
Make the point again that we made about Ricky Sanchez in the previous game when he got called for those, like, you remember the succession of free throws?
Yes.
He should have been called for a foul. Then he just hugged Burzins. Just get down, do the hard graft blue collar work. Get down and box out. Just use the attributes you have.
Arroyo with the dribble, pen to shoot. A lot of dribbling. Looking for room, hardly any. And the rebound with a beautiful box out is in the hands of Giannis Buršins. Minute 45 to go. Latvia in the lead. It was not touched by Clemente. Just a bad pass. It's a turnover. And we haven't seen too many here today by either team. It's just the 6 for Latvia, only 5 for Puerto Rico. So Giannis Blums, the captain, on the court guarding Barea. Ball was deflected into the hands of Barea. A floater. It's good. Tough shot, and he still wants the foul. Blums, a great shooter. Hounded by Arroyo. Buršins facing the basket. It's in. Nice move.
Yeah, mid-range 2, he could knock those down. If they went for a more mobile lineup, the mobile lineup was nowhere near Burzins then.
Foul by Kaspar Buršins.
Personal foul, number 14, Kaspas.
His third.
His third.
Always perennially in foul trouble.
His third.
See, it's situations like that where, you know what, he doesn't need to get involved. He's not really helping. He's trying to make something happen with his defense. Different player, yeah, great, but they need him on the floor. He does not need to get involved in that situation.
And that's a little bit more excusable as a first foul. It's not so as a third foul.
No.
1 minute to go in the quarter. Inside the Bachmann, and a foul, number 4 on Buršins.
And that's the answer to the question of, you know,
No, they give it to Timma.
been charged with a personal, but you take away the option to use fouls if you give them up. If you're as important as Berzin's there, jumping out on the sideline against the guard, that's only going to get called for Barrera.
David Huertas ended up third in three-point shooting in the BSN, the Puerto Rican League, with Arecibo, the Capitanes de Arecibo, the Arecibo captains, won the championship this year. Hard-fought series against the Bayamon Cowboys, led by Peter John Ramos. I don't see Peter John Ramos wearing spurs and hat and a lasso, and I don't see a horse who can possibly take him from place to place.
You'd have to go down to those old Shire horses of stuff, but not one of those horses that runs across the plains of America, should we say? No, I don't see him as a cowboy.
Aldo Bachmann trying to make 2 free throws, and he does. How about that? He missed the first 2 earlier in the game. Diaz back in. Bachmann will take a seat. Puerto Rico again back up. What a game, huh? Lots of lead changes. Lots of little runs. And Puerto Rico had a 7-point lead at one point.
Because neither team is shooting the ball that well. Neither team's getting that consistency. So this looks like it's going to go all the way down to it.
Tima guarded by Clemente. Tries to bang him all the way near the rim. Bergens inside to Tim again. 4 to shoot. Step back shot by Strelzniak. Rebounded by Arroyo. Spread the court, says Casiano. And let's play in the half court. Don't rush yourself. Take the last shot of the game. Is he going to see it? We're going to see a pick by Diaz? Yes, we will. Arroyo threads it all the way in. Short. And now Tim has a second. He shoots in time. No good. So that's another missed three-pointer technically. In a game full of them. 1 for 19 is Latvia behind the three-point line. Puerto Rico not much better, 4 for 17. Someone's going to make a 3 at some point. It is a 1-point Puerto Rico lead at the end of 3.
These stats that we're going to get a look at right now, you're not going to like looking at the three-point stats. 5%. This is the Latvian natural team shooting 5%. I just can't believe they're going to have another fourth quarter like that because they're getting open looks.
Latvia is 0 for 4 in the third quarter.
I mean, that number of assists for Puerto Rico is the one thing that if they could increase one stat, there's only 6 assists on the floor. Now, a lot of it is about too much dribble. Yeah, but they've missed. We're going to look at Holland making that 3, but there's too many missed looks. You know, the number of times that Arroyo's come off the screen and made the pass and they've missed and they should have scored. They've given the ball to open threes and they've missed. It's the same at the other end. At some point in this fourth quarter, you have to believe that people are going to start playing to statistics and they're going to make threes. And just make the right number of threes.
Hey, at this point, they'll take 1 at the end of the game. 1.
Anyone. And it's like, if they make 2 in a row, it'll be an amazing thing. You all of a sudden get, that sort of input.
We talked about how Giannis Tima had a very solid, all-around, great leadership-type game against the Czech Republic. He's doing so again today with 14 points, 8 boards, an assist, and a block shot.
Yeah, and he doesn't, he's had chances to force it, and he hasn't, which you've got to love, especially at the stage of the game. He's taking good options. Defensively, he has to play as much as he can in this fourth quarter. You've got to hope. Berzin's going up against a relatively inexperienced guy, and Diaz, they could just post him up. They don't want to, or he doesn't want to. All to play for.
Casper with 3 fouls on Giannis Tima as well. For Puerto Rico, 3 fouls on Bachmann and 3 fouls on John Holland. That's another one to keep an eye on. Holland with 3 fouls. Nice pass, and he put it back. Didn't he grab the ball when he landed? Wasn't there a travel?
I'd have to see. It looked like it looked all
over. It didn't hit the rim.
No.
It hit the net, but not the rim.
Unless someone,
Foul by Sanchez as Silinch attacked the basket.
Back cut. They got it the first play of the game. They're getting it again. They're getting looks at it again. The only time they don't get it is when, your Bachmann-Clemente combination is in the game.
Somehow they have a nose for it. They have a feeling that it's coming.
Well, at least in this instance, Sanchez fouled, was close enough to foul. And it becomes an issue for Latvia. Berzin's has been there, it's been pretty much the guy that's the inside out sort of build a team has been done, and he's just not, at this tournament so far, really contributed, and so Pasecnik has played 15 minutes already. He's just come back in with his 6 points. He's done a reasonable job blocking shots. Yeah, you've gone to the 20-year-old when your veteran should really be giving you a little bit more. But
at the age of 20,
yeah.
Oyars Silinj became the defensive player of the year in the Serie A in Italy at the age of 20. He's 22 now, and he missed a free throw. Normally an 88% free throw shooter. Well, that's with a 3. Here we go.
So don't make the wide open ones. Make them with people hanging on you.
That's the key, right?
Yeah, maybe that's the only answer.
Pass up the open threes. As Clemente now guards Silinj. And Sanchez is with Tima.
It's an important for Latvia here.
Pasecnik back on the court. Beautiful drive. 16 points for Yanis Tima.
Yeah, 5-point lead. A miss there would have given Puerto Rico to start opening it up.
Arroyo, 36 years old now. We'll see if he stays in Spanish basketball in Europe. As Sanchez gets an open 3. It's in!
There's your 2 in a row.
He's been practicing that corner 3 from the left corner ever since he got out of the locker room to start the second half. A couple of consecutive 3s. It's a 6-point Puerto Rican lead. Foul. And it is Ricky Sanchez.
This Puerto Rican team on defense is a smart move by Tima. Right? Just play defense. You know, you can't hug, you can't put your hands on people. Don't make life difficult for yourselves. They've already picked up 2 team fouls.
And don't make life easier for the referee.
And Latvia now, I think they'll be aggressive. And there's the 3rd one again. Nice aggressive move by Bertrand. Always. That's 3 fouls already, 8:20 to go.
Joel Huertas rises to the challenge defensively, at least in his mind, but sometimes he loses track. He stops playing with his head a bit. Right now he's thinking, I got to shut down the top scorer in this tournament.
What he should be thinking, our rules are this. That's better though.
Drive from left. Again, takes away the right hand. But there's the answer by Bertas. A 3, only the second one in 20 shots for Latvia. About time. Bagats.
That's a great sign for Latvia.
Bagatskis is thinking.
If Bertans gets going now, that's a great sign.
Hesitation by Arroyo and a foul, and I think it's on Tima. It is on Tima, and this is trouble. That is his 4th. This is trouble for Latvia.
Gets fouled on the penetration. He had to clear out because there was a reach. And if Tim has been called for the foul, Strelnick's really probably should have been called for it on the drive.
Tima wants to stay.
Tim's got to stay.
And Bagatskis agrees.
You know, it's like, what are you saving him for? At the moment, he is the most efficient guy on the floor.
But Puerto Rico knows that he's got 4 fouls. They're going to go after him. There was an earlier foul that they did not give him here. I tell you what, he went for the ball here, but again, easy for me to say at the time. Arroyo makes the free throw.
Neither team, well, definitely Puerto Rico, just not looking very comfortable on the free throw line at all. And at 36 years old, Carlos Arroyo is across his career is an incredibly good free throw shooter.
He's 2 for 4 today.
It's amazing what the pressure of an Olympic qualifying tournament does to
But
you.
normally Arroyo's great under pressure at the free throw line. Normally that's his strength.
I don't think he's going to miss come down the end of the screen.
Tima inside the Pasecnik. Beautiful play by Latvia.
That's why Tima has to stay. Pasecnik does what he does. Rolls down the floor. Another type of player might have wanted to shoot that shot. It's a great pass, great execution.
Pasecnik, the 21-year-old, is 4 for 6. He's got 6 boards, 8 points, and increasingly Puerto Rico has no answer for him. Arroyo from the elbow, rebounded by Silinj.
Guerrero's got to come back sooner rather than later.
A swish. Pasecnik now being guarded by Holland. Silinj attacks Bachman, and it's in! Bachman didn't want to give him another foul.
And Bachman couldn't do anything more than he did. He came up, but watch the way he has to scoot this. Somehow finishes it. Bachman does a pretty, 9 out of 99% of the time, he's not going to get that shot away.
Brian Diaz trying to hide underneath the baseline. Flash into the middle, nobody saw him. Here comes Holland. 3 seconds to shoot. It's in against Tima.
Great recognition. Arroyo had a look at his. There's still not a little, you'd like a little bit more ball movement, but Holland, that's a great drive.
Holland, Tim are guarding each other. That is worth the price of admission here. Silic, wide open three. Rebounded by Diaz and quickly stolen out of bounds by Bertans. By the way, speaking of worth the price of your ticket, lower bowl seats at Belgrade Arena for 5 days of basketball, including Saturday, which has a single game at 9 o'clock local time. Total cost is just under $100 US. In other words, less than $20 a day for a couple of games. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. That's the sort of value you want.
You can, there are no really assigned seats here. You can just sit wherever you want. See some great basketball. Diaz has a shot, takes it, but he misses. A little hesitation on his part. 2-point Puerto Rico lead. It's been a little seesaw going one way and another. Correa back in. Tima. Bachman gets the ball stripped out of his hands by Pasechnik. Belongs to Puerto Rico.
Again, Bachman does a really nice job. Gets his body in the right area. He could have gone and made contact to keep Pasechnik off the glass, but at least he had inside position. Pasechnik is so active, doing a really very good job.
Bachman inside. Diaz with a flush. Now Puerto Rico does a lot what Latvia just did to Puerto Rico earlier. Timeout. Miners, Bagatskis. Pocket pass, and then phone booth pass between the bigs. Jorge Brian Diaz now with 8 points and 3 boards.
Well, a 4-point game, and the way that Puerto Rico have got the types of shots they've got lately, and Bagatskis has some issues that, as good as Pasechnik is, it might be time for him to go with Bertans and Pasechnik at the same time, because that would really take a little bit more pressure off Tima, because Tima's having to compete far too much at the moment.
Especially for rebounds and rim protection.
He's in a rebound, he's in a foul situation. If he leaves the game, I think it's a huge issue for Latvia. On their positive side, Bertans has got himself going. They're still being aggressive. I think Cassiano will want to let, the three veterans, if you want, Arroyo and Barrera and Holland, see this game out if he can. It's how long he leaves Diaz in there for.
Bertans contact with Diaz, and Bertans is a master at drawing fouls. He really is, just like Satoransky for the Czech Republic.
Yeah, they've been switching on screens, and then there wasn't really that great communication, which found that you end up with Barrera chasing. That switching on screens has been very productive for Puerto Rico in the second half.
14 seconds to shoot. Davis, Bertans is in the NBA. Will Darius join him at some point? Silic, it's good! A two-pointer though, just inside the arc. Does Darius, you think, have a chance to at some point?
Just that he's not quite as great a physical specimen, should we say, as Darius.
Bachman, left hand. Strelzny has struggled today. 2 for 6 overall. 1 assist, 2 turnovers. Pasechnik, fake, and easy between Bachman and Diaz. And timeout. Eddie Cassiano for Puerto Rico, because the game is tied and Pasechnik is having his way. 10 points, 8 boards, and playing like a veteran.
Well, the reason, and some of this stuff is never recognized enough. The reason he's playing as a veteran is he spent the last season Also in Gran Canaria,
We got
under
press a
coach
little bit more
Hector
the ball. We
Ramirez,
gotta
who's a
rotate a little bit
master
better.
at producing
Fuck
young
it.
players.
Be right there with
You
them.
know, the Ricky Rubios, the Rudy
John.
Fernandez, all went through
Carlos.
scenarios where when
Marea.
Ramirez is the coach,
Get him here.
and having
You're gonna
covered his
set a pick.
games during this
But,
year,
mira
he
lo que va a
doesn't just
hacer.
put him in end of game time. He put him in at the beginning.
And
He'll
Bachman
give
is
him
right
time in situations
John,
that matter.
set a pick
And
here.
you
We
see
going
him
right through the
progress as
middle.
the season's gone on. And
Marea, por el mismo medio.
now he's been asked to
Open
take
up.
all those hours
Está bien?
under a quality coach
Now,
like Ramirez,
if
puts
you
him in
got
this
the shot,
position.
you
He
got
is
the shot,
having
we open.
a phenomenal
Got it?
game.
Carlos, te
And
vamos
I
a
don't
ver
think
acá.
Diaz can cope with him. So go with someone who's got a straight matchup. The Clemente and Baldwin combination still looks the most effective because Sanchez won't play physical.
And at this point, you've written off Peter John Ramos because of the tenor of the game, the way that the game's going.
After he played the first 5 minutes, he hasn't played since. I don't think he's in Cassiano's thoughts at the moment at all, even though he would give them a slightly different look. But the rest of the defense is switching and out on the perimeter, and there's no way Ramos is going to do that. So you're almost playing a four guys switching and Ramos camped in the middle. Then you just say Sesnic's going to shoot the perimeter shot. He's decided not to do that, and you can understand why it would be as viable to do. It's the way they started the game.
Pressure by Latvia, but into the hands of Barea. Finally brings it up the court, and now takes it all the way. Over to Diaz, follow, put back! Pasetic had to choose his poison, and he was in Never Neverland. How about that, a third dunk by Diaz?
Diaz, he talks about finishing, he's only finished one way.
Wow, what a change for the youngster. 3 years with Nebraska at the NCAA level, and a foul here by Arroyo.
2 shots.
Bertans to the line. 3 fouls on Carlos. Look at this. Just a hold.
Yeah. And the thing is, now they're in the penalty, Puerto Rico. So, you know, again, Latvia will be rewarded if they are the aggressor, if they do try and go into the paint before they'll settle for the perimeter jump shot. Bertans is just a phenomenal free-throw shooter.
They were 10 of 15. Now he missed. He just jinxed them.
Commentator's curse, yeah.
Yeah. They were 10 of 15 before Puerto Rico reached the bonus. 4 minutes to go in the fourth. 1 point Puerto Rico lead. Pasechnik guarding Barea. Now he wants some room.
No, go away.
Yeah,
Yes,
give
go
him
away.
some room here against the big guy. Over to Holland for the 3-point. Short, Bachman. Foul, and it's the 5th foul on Timma. Let's see. It is. He's gone. Costly foul by Yanis Timma. Hardly any foul, I should say, but still a foul.
Yeah, and how many times do you see that they're really poorly in this shot that doesn't give you a normal rebound, create a bit of confusion and chaos. Timma's had a great game. He's going to foul out. You know, in terms of, I still think it was the right decision to leave him in because it was 9 minutes when he picked up his 4th. He's played the last 5. So now, you know, Sillins is crucial now. He's the glue guy that's going to have to do some of that work around the ring defensively.
And it doesn't look that way, right? Because it felt like he's been the MVP in this game for Latvia, but this could be potentially a blessing in disguise as we see the youngster Janis Bershins comes in. This is a very young Latvian group right now on the court, but they're able. Bachman made the last 2 free throws. Now he misses both. And the ball out of bounds. It belongs to Latvia. What a missed opportunity for Puerto Rico here. Puerto Rico has missed 7 of 15 free throws, so they're at 53%. Bertans give him the right hand. Over to Bershins. Rebounded by Bachman.
Pasechnik didn't get a look in that set. Didn't get a look.
3:15 to go. Arroyo keeps the dribble alive. And now he gets Pasechnik's. Fake of a shot. Pushes off. It's in! And Pasechnik complains, hey, wait a minute. He shoved me like Jordan shoved Brian Russell.
I don't think it was a push off as such. He had Pasechnik's going backwards anyway, which is what you'd expect in that mismatch.
Strelny, tough shot. Rebounded by Arroyo, and Arroyo looks a little winded as we get into the 2.5 minutes to go in the fourth. What a game. What a semifinal. Serbia and the Czech Republic will be next. Correa denied this time. Inside to Diaz. Cross court to Holland. Nice close. And he floats, but misses. Here comes Bertans. Out to Strelznieks. Silic with an open three. It's in! It's in to tie the game. We said that they would come at some point. We figured at the end of the game, timeout, Eddie Casiano. Look at that. What huge three in so many ways. About 30 centimeters behind the line for that one.
Well, you mentioned the age of this lineup on the floor at the moment, but because of the Latvian development programs and the way that these guys have got some old heads on those young shoulders, they just make some smart decisions through that play. 68 apiece, new game, 2 minutes to go.
We're going 5, complete.
Puerto Rico with one timeout left. Latvia with 2. And Puerto Rico is at the limit. So Latvia, with every foul, will go to the free throw line.
Yeah,
There's something to keep in mind here.
And that's, you know, remember we went right back to the start of the fourth quarter with those couple of crazy reaching fouls. You know, that's when it comes to haunt you down here because, you know, Latvia have got those 2 fouls to play with. And they'll need them in this last 2 minutes.
Only 11 turnovers combined between the teams. 6 for Latvia, 5 for Puerto Rico. The errors have been more mental ones. Can't finish a little chippy shot. Miss some free throws. A little out of bounds here and there. It may come back to haunt Puerto Rico.
Interesting to see if Latvia try and change their way to dealing with a pick and roll, because so far they've picked it every time. They've switched it, and you've ended up with Pasecniks with a guard, and they've been very efficient at finding ways. They might just have to chase over or show hard, because they've been killed so far when they've actually switched Pasecniks.
Correa all the way, misses. And the ball is loose. Pasecniks comes up with it. No, Bachman takes it out of bounds. It belongs to Latvia.
Well, Barrera, you can understand the decision, whether they needed it that early, because he ends up with a tough shot. Strelnieks does a marvelous job not fouling. But they went away from the screen because it looked like Latvia were going to jump at it, so he just tried to take it. Strelnieks did a marvelous job. That's just a great job, and Pasecniks, he does the blue-collar stuff as well, gets on the floor.
Gran Canaria ended up 5th in the Endesa League this year. Strelznieks. Back to Hagar Skeller back in the game. He had a nice burst in the first half, and here comes Silic, misses. A great box out by Jorge Brian Diaz. It belongs to Puerto Rico. Excellent. Decided not to fight for the ball, just basically keep Pasecniks away from the ball. Nice decision. Ricky Sanchez coming in for Puerto Rico.
Substitution, Puerto Rico, Sanchez for Diaz.
He made a three-pointer from the corner.
You know, it looks a little bit offense-defense like with Casiano. He's asked Diaz to stay, near the substitutes table. What Sanchez will do is drag Pasecniks out the middle, because if he hugs the middle, Ricky Sanchez has got that three-point range.
Correa over to Holland. Rebounded by Bachman, and he lays it in. Huge basket. Puerto Rico in the lead. A minute 8. Whoa! What a game.
You can't underestimate the impact of Sanchez there, because Pasecniks wasn't around the ring because he had to extend a little bit. I like the move from Coach Casiano.
Strelznieks against Holland. Long rebound into the hands of Arroyo. Puerto Rico wants to play in the half court. And Skeller just denying Correa right now. Now they switch. He's hounding Arroyo. 10 seconds to shoot. Arroyo with a long shot. It's in! A three-pointer! 36-year-old Carlos Arroyo trying to make it back to the Olympics with a huge three-pointer. A 5-point Puerto Rico lead. It's a 2-possession game with 35 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Cold blood runs through his veins here. A crossover, And over Pasechnik.
It's the pick and roll again, you know, in terms of how are they going to play the pick and roll. They didn't change how they were going to, they switched it. And Arroyo is I would say, the best guard in this tournament in terms of reading the pick and roll. And he just makes big shots, big time, big plays.
Skella guarded well. He just bid on the crossover. Everybody else would have. All net. The reaction. He wants it so bad. The winner of this game will have to face the winner of the next game between the Czech Republic and host Serbia. And then the winner of that game tomorrow night, right here at Belgrade Arena, will move on. And we had some action earlier today in Torino, Italy.
And that saw Croatia make a final. And that, having come second in the group, will give them a shot, if Italy win, of getting revenge for that game in the group. So both teams, if Italy get the win later, will know the result of that.
Italy will be playing Mexico as we see Serbia, Bogdan Bogdanovic, present, looking, and enjoying this game. It's been a thrill of a game. Here we go, inside, Pasechnik. And the foul! Pasechnik with the possibility of a three-point play. 28 seconds to go. What a game this youngster's had. 12 points, 8 rebounds, and a chance at another one from the line.
See, when the pick and roll happens, Barrera, if it's Barrera's responsibility or whatever, it has to be so much further up the keyway to try and bump him. And if you're going to foul him, you've got to foul him hard. And so he doesn't have the chance of a three-point play.
Misses, and the ball's loose, back into the hands of Pasechnik, but Arroyo intercepts. Arroyo all the way! Outside to Holland for the dog! What a decision by Carlos Arroyo! What a decision by Carlos. He has eyes in the back of his neck. How did he know? And Holland, the presence of mind of just running. It looked like an easy fast break, but look at the effort by Latvia to keep up. Strelznieks and Skella, and here comes Holland, the second wave.
I know this is a great pass, and I know that's great awareness, but his effort to steal the basketball, and then that gives him a 5-point lead. This is just 36.
I want the Olympics so bad I can taste them. Of course, they're going to have to beat the winner of Serbia and the Czech Republic. That's not going to be easy, especially if it is the host. The frustration Puerto Rico has suffered, Mark, in trying to get to the next Olympic, I can't even tell you. I will say, we'll talk about it during the next game. Essentially, in the last possible game before you can get a pass, they've lost every time to the hosts. If they win this game and Serbia wins theirs, that same setup will be in front of Puerto Rico. Again, it's like Sisyphus pushing the rock up the mountain and then rolling down anyway on them.
Wow.
They first have to get past Latvia, and they're not in the clear yet. Two-possession game.
20 seconds in an enormous amount of time.
Bertens the three. Offline. Rebounded by Sanchez. Arroyo gets the ball up ahead to Bachman, and Bachman lays it in. Puerto Rico can taste the final now. A shot by Bertens out, no good, and Puerto Rico will advance. A foul at the end by Giannis Bergins. Eddie Casiano hugging his assistant Manolo Cintron, who was the head coach of this national team for 3 years, including the World Championships in Turkey in 2010. The Latvian fans, of course, disappointed and stunned. And that will be the end of the game. 77-70. Puerto Rico eliminates Latvia and advances to the final at the Belgrade Arena and awaits the winner of the next game between the Czech Republic and host Serbia. What a game, Mark Clark.
Well, that, to me, like, it's big time, big players, big moments. And like Arroyo at the end of the game, they've been so productive at the pick and roll. He just made some huge decisions. But there was a great moment for me that just summed it up. Casiano and Arroyo embraced as they went back on the floor. And the respect amongst this group, I think it's that, whatever Casiano is as a coach, as a manager of men, he's done a phenomenal job. Because this team, I think, believe now they can beat anybody, which is not what the Serbians want to hear. But neither team played great in so many ways. They just toughed out a game and never doubted themselves. I've only seen them like 2 years ago in Seville. This is an unrecognizable group. That type of game, whatever along, there was some point in that game where they'd have folded and given up the ghost and bitched at each other. And as a group, they just put on a phenomenal performance. Stats, the only stat that matters is 77-70. And Puerto Rico have given themselves a chance. They showed in the last quarter against Serbia the other night that that game is not a given.
How about Latvia? They walk away from this tournament. They were unbeaten the first 2 games. They really played extremely well. This is a Puerto Rican team that is punching above its weight. I mean, it took a good game by Puerto Rico to eliminate Latvia.
Well, it did, and I think the Latvians, when they sit down and think about it, not right now, because when they sit down and think about it right now, it's just going to be disappointing. But the Sesniks, with Zilins, with the way that this country develops players, and the 2 guys that weren't here, when it comes around to the next Eurobasket, when it comes around to qualification, this is a team that's a real deal in being a top 8 team. Once you're a top 8 team in Europe, you've got a chance to win.
The Latvians facing an American team for the first time in 80 years. It was a strange team, as they called it, a disorganized team. The way they play is very unlike the way we play and the way our opponents play. Well, they got a taste of Caribbean basketball today, and a veteran team, Puerto Rican team. It was a great game. The biggest lead for Puerto Rico was 7 points. Jorge Brian Diaz also had a great contribution. And again, the feel for Casiano. Who do I get in the big position? Which matchup here I need to put in or maybe give me an advantage? Masterful.
And I think one of the things I always say about national team basketball, it's great because you've got guys who are used to playing, but that makes it tough on the coach, because that makes him like, well, sometimes I'm going to use you, sometimes I'm not. And I'm not talking about the major players. So Diaz has to buy into being on the national team. So he hasn't had major minutes. He's just had the most important minutes he's had of his whole national team career. We're beyond the shadow of a doubt. Both ends of the floor, he just did what his coach asked him to do. And there was another great moment as you see the Arroyo decision of the game when Peter Ramos is talking to Diaz in the timeouts. I've only played 5 minutes. I'm not sitting here worrying about, I'm going to help you because I've been here before.
And I want to win.
Yeah, and that wasn't evident in Puerto Rico before in the times I've seen them. But like when you've got guys pulling for each other like that, and you've got to say that's Casiano's impact, regardless of what he's done as a coach.
A few words on the performance of Andrzej Pasechniks of Latvia.
Well, I said during the game that Eto Ranieris and Gran Canaria did a great job developing that guy. Obviously, after the Latvians did all the groundwork, etc., in their junior programs, he's just shown Europe what a player Gran Canaria have, and his size. Who knows where he might end up? Because he's long and mobile. Once he starts to fill that frame out, there's going to be a lot of people in the league and in big programs in Europe looking at him.
Compare his performance today with his performance in Game 1 against Japan.
Well, I think the Japan game is going to be an issue for him because it's a different type of game. But if I compare where I've seen him in Europe this year, now he's a man. He was a kid being prepared before.
What a game. Barea had a very difficult game, but he really combined well with his teammates. Bachman give Puerto Rico the energy they need. Puerto Rico on the rebounding scale, out-rebounded Latvia by 5. This is a great fake by Arroyo. Arroyo finished this game with 14 points, 5 assists, no turnovers, a steal, and 4 rebounds. And there's the embrace by Casiano and Manolo Cintron. Beautiful play by Silic, another promising young Latvian who's going to be playing international basketball for 10 years. Strelzniak had a very difficult game. He was a target, and so did Bertrands. And Kaspar's Berzins also struggled a bit. But the few Puerto Rican fans here could taste it, and they can taste it. Now they're ready for a finals. They don't care if it's the host. They don't care if it's the Czech Republic. They're happy to be where they are. And they're going to walk down Main Street with both hands and revolvers ready to fire away as the disappointment for Latvia and Darius Bertans is clear. Great promising team. Just missed a few things today and just couldn't hold Puerto Rico's veteran savvy at the end. We're going to take a break before our next game. Please join us for the other semifinal as the Czech Republic will face Serbia.